Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Sharon Jesus podcast. We've got a few different guests in the house today. We're going to have several different guests on this episode. But today we've got Hayden down here at the far end. Hayden is a senior at Benton, right?
Yep.
He's getting ready to graduate. And then we've got Emily, 11th grade, right? Mm-hmm. At Bryant.
Yep.
And then we got Smack, who's a group leader.
Whoop, whoop.
So thanks for joining us today. We are all a little sleep deprived.
Very.
Speak for yourself, DJ.
This is reality weekend, and they all stayed up pretty late playing the grog, and
It was like 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was like 3 a.m. before we went to bed. So
4 hours of sleep. Let's go.
But we're excited that you're here listening and watching. But real quick, I got a question that just to start it off real easy. You're headed on vacation with your family, and all expenses are paid, so money's not an issue. Where do you want to go?
Am I starting this off? All right. Me, I'm going back to Mexico, where I went over the summer. Cancun, Mexico. It was just fun time, fun blast. There's so many things to do. It's just experience. I loved it down there.
What was your favorite part in Mexico?
Probably taking the boat over to Isla Mujeres, snorkeling and swimming. That was really fun.
Cool. When did y'all go?
Late June last year.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember your mom posted like 711 photos.
A lot. Yeah. We had to take like 1,711 photos.
Yeah. Where are you headed?
I don't know. Just somewhere like tropical, I guess.
Tropical?
Because I want to go like swimming and like zip lining and stuff.
Gotcha.
Very exotic. Wow.
Yeah. Where you headed?
I'd probably go back to Atlanta. Atlanta was really, really fun. It's like a big city and like, I don't know. It's just a cool vibe down there.
I love how two of them, I want to go to the beach. The third one, let's go to ATL.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the beach. I do love the beach, but like Atlanta, the food, incredible. It was so good.
I think that just shows the North Little Rock in you.
Yeah, I mean, in the Lord of the Day I Die, you know?
Yeah. Well, if I could go anywhere and money wasn't an issue, I'm probably, I mean, I could say the spiritual route of Israel and see the Holy Land and all that. But if I'm just going on a basic vacation, I'd probably say like Bora Bora or something like that. Something it's kind of like a bucket list type place where they've got like the huts out in the ocean and very romantic, you know. So I have to think, where would my wife want to go? So that's where we're gonna go.
Love that you put your wife in that too.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, cool. So let's see, beach, ATL, which I've been to Atlanta. Oh, the traffic in Atlanta.
The traffic is awful.
Terrible.
Dude, like
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Arkansas doesn't understand traffic
No.
at all. Like Dallas doesn't understand traffic. Go to Atlanta because it is like stop and go all day long.
It's like a NASCAR.
Oh, there was a couple times I almost died. People just decide to, I need to go 7 lanes over, and they cut across all the lanes, not caring. So, second question. This one's pretty easy too. The third question, we're going to be a little more serious. But what's your biggest fear, Smack?
Oddly enough, getting struck by lightning, even though it's like 1 in a million chance that it would happen, getting struck by lightning is my biggest fear.
Wow. Getting struck by lightning. Yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty painful. Be pretty painful.
Just, and you're done.
Hey, it would definitely be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That's for sure.
Unless you get like hit like multiple times and then have, I don't know how that happens. You gotta be like really lucky or unlucky.
Yeah, lucky or unlucky. I don't know. So,
I don't know. Me probably would be
lightning.
unlucky for sure.
See, that's that sleep. That's that lack of sleep right there.
Yeah.
That lack of sleep.
Exactly.
So what's your biggest fear?
I can't really think of one right now, but as a little kid, it was going under bridges. I always felt like they were gonna collapse on me as soon as I went under them. I was like, "No, get me out of here!" Like about to die. Like every time a semi passed by, I'm like, "No, it's gonna crush me. Get me out."
So I'm gonna back you up because you said I can't think of one right now, and I feel like you're putting off this macho man persona. What's your biggest fear right now?
Right now, I don't know right now.
I'll give you time to think about it.
All right.
What's your biggest fear?
Spiders.
Amen.
I am terrified of spiders. I hate them
You know
with a
who
passion.
You know who kills the spiders at our house?
I don't know.
Amy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It wouldn't be me.
That's
That
believable.
shocks me.
Listen. There was this little plastic spider that I guess
Back
it was
in the war.
Samson's or something. Little plastic spider. It was sitting on the floor, and I'm sweeping it, and I bumped it, and I was like, "Yo, that thing is huge." I'm like, "Babe, come here," and she comes and looks at it, and she just like picks it up, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then she's like, "It's plastic." So then she sits it on the banister of the stairs that come down from the top of the Mercy House down. I forget about it. We leave. I come in the front door, open the door, and I've got my arms full of stuff. And I walk in and see something out of the corner of my eye, and I look down, and I panicked. No joke, panic. I was like, "Yo!" And she was like, "It got you again." But yes, I can.
I would have just screamed and like left the building.
I don't do
What
spiders.
about lizards? Do you like lizards?
Lizards
I'm
are so
fine with
cool.
lizards.
Yeah.
You're fine with lizards.
I'm
but
fine
not
with anything,
spiders?
but spiders. I cannot do spiders.
Oh, I can't do
I don't know
lizards.
what it is.
Mm-mm. There was one time I had a lizard in my house. I was by myself at my parents' house, and it had like crawled on the wall, and I was like, what do I do? So I FaceTime my mom and dad. They're in Branson. I have 2 dogs that are like trying to eat it, and I was like, no. Mass chaos. So then I finally get my Choco, and I like beat it up against the wall, and then its tail is like on the wall and then off the wall, and then it just like slowly just kind of comes down, and I was like, "Ugh," and then I like yeet that thing in the house, and then I like get it and I take it outside, and I was like, this is disgusting.
That's awful.
So like lizards and lightning, the 2 L's, absolutely
There you
not.
go, the 2 L's.
It's like LL
2
beam,
L's.
except I don't have a beam, but L and L. Nope.
No, I almost threw a hammer at my dad and it was a dead spider too. But I'm terrified of spiders. Like that's how terrified I am.
What
of
about
spiders.
Granddaddy Longlegs?
No, I hate them. I don't care what kind of spider it is. I hate them.
So like if we ever go on like a student
No, you're not bringing
camping trip-
spiders.
No,
I will
no.
never come
So
back.
if like we go on a student camping trip and you go to bed and you open your sleeping bag and there's like 5 Granddaddy Longlegs in there,
I'm just gonna die, like right there in the air. Like, Emily's life is over.
Emily's life is over.
I might leave my pants on in that situation, but I'm going to sleep. Like
Oh, absolutely
spiders,
not,
they don't bother
dude.
me.
Nope.
Hey, I was asleep in a hammock one time on a camping trip and Granddaddy Longlegs were like falling out of the tree. Yeah, I no
But
longer
Granddaddy
slept in that hammock.
Longlegs are kind of cute.
They're also really venomous.
Are they really?
Yeah, but their mouth is
I
too
thought
small
that
to
was
bite.
like a
I
fake
did not
something.
know that.
No, they're one of the most deadly spiders,
I thought
but
that
they
was
can't
like just
they can't bite
a lie or something.
humans. Their mouth is too small.
Weird. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact of the day.
All right. Biggest
All right.
fear.
I think it's like fear of like not being known or like just being forgotten about, like kind of just
Oh, that's deep.
like just being forgotten, kind of just living up to nothing. Even though
Not leaving your mark on
yeah,
on humanity. That's pretty deep. It really is. I would have to agree with the spiders. But I don't do spiders. I'll reach down and grab a snake. Don't care what type of snake it is. I'll grab its tail, whatever. Doesn't freak me out. Spider? Not this guy. So, all right. So now the serious question, and this is really more directed at the students. Okay, what are some of the biggest challenges that y'all face today?
Like in what?
Just at school, at home, or just wherever. And I'll give you time to think. Just what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you face at your age in life?
for me, it's trying to like live for God, but then like try to fit in with like people at school, or like just spread the word in general to like people who you don't want to talk to, or that like you're scared to go out and be public with your faith, kind of like it's kind of nerve-wracking to go out and put yourself out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Just like acceptance, I guess. Like you want to go out and you want to live for God and like be different, but then you also want to still fit in and be liked by people, but sometimes people don't want to hear that. So
Right.
then they'll sit there and they're like, "No, I don't like you. Like leave me alone."
Right.
So I guess that.
Okay. Smack. So when you were their age, I'm just curious. Like, have those challenges changed from when we were students to students now? Like, what's changed? So more or less, what I'm asking is, what was a challenge, or some of the challenges that you faced as a student?
I mean, I think it's like, I was a student so long ago. Oh, not long as
Thanks for that.
Sorry. I think it was more like living out my faith at my school. Because, like, I did go to a big public school. I mean, we all go to a big public school. But, like, with my group, like, there was such a different, like, group of kids that I was trying to be like, hey, you know, I want to impact this group, but also, like, not make people happy. Like, I was very much a people pleaser. So, like, I think that was something that I kind of struggled with, and people in this school and age day now, like, they struggle with it too. So, like, it was just kind of that aspect of it.
Gotcha. See, when I was, that wasn't the honestly, that wasn't the challenges when I was in school. I mean, I've said it to the students before. Like, when I was in school at y'all's age, if you weren't a Christian, like, you got made fun of by us Christians. Go figure. You know, it's kind of hypocritical, but it was cool to be a Christian. The contemporary worship was really taking off then, and Christian rap was taking off then, which I'm still listening to. But I think back when I was a student, it was being authentic and real was the biggest challenge, because you were so afraid of what the next person might think of you, or what they might say. Are they gonna accept me or make fun of me? So I think along it kind of falls in with what you were saying, you know, being accepted and people hanging out with you and not making fun of you and stuff like that. But definitely when I was a kid, if you weren't a Christian, you weren't the cool kids, that's for sure. So
Another thing that's kind of hard though too is like kind of like what we've been talking about, like culture, Christianity, and all of this stuff, the reality weekend, and how like everyone wants to put on a front of it, but no one wants to get in deep with it. And so there's a lot of times where you'll try and bring something up with someone and they're like, oh yeah, like I know that. And they don't want to know further from it because they think that it's just like a blanket and they're covered. And so it's hard to like really reach people because you don't know if it's someone who actually does know the word or who doesn't, and you don't know how to, it can be hard to take that next step and know which way to take it with somebody.
That was good.
that was really good.
That'll preach.
Somebody needs to pass the offering plate, 'cause she's preaching over here, boy. I like what you're talking about. Like, they think it's a blanket to them, and so they think they're covered. That
was deep.
That's a good play on words right
That
there.
was.
But anything else outside of sharing your faith and you know, feeling accepted or whatnot?
I kind of want to piggyback off what she just said, though. Kind of what we talked about last night in our little group. Lukewarm. If you're warm, you're comfortable. Like, if you have a blanket on, you're comfortable. You don't want to get up and move around because you're comfortable. But you have two options. You're either for God or you're not for God. You're
Right.
hot or cold. So.
That's right. And I think, you know, I started this out by saying this is Reality Weekend. And today we had a couple of sessions already this morning, and tonight we're going back for our final session. And I think so far the weekend's been awesome. Shane Pruitt spoke the first session, and then Ryan McDermott, you know, he brought the word twice in session 2 and session 3. And I think overall, it's funny because I even mentioned this in our small group this afternoon. Like I'm preaching Sunday, and the message that I've prepared intertwines with what these guys are preaching, and it's so cool to see God piece all this stuff together and mesh it all together, and how it's just like this intricate path that he's forming and or has formed, and we're just here to be in the moment and be obedient to where he wants us to be. And it is dangerous being comfortable as a Christian. I had a guy ask me one time, it was something along the lines that if you're not fighting the enemy, are you sure you're not walking with him? Because if you're comfortable where you're at and you're not facing any problems, then where are you? Are you just, under the blanket, staying warm, staying comfortable? Or have you gotten up and made that decision to step forward and to move forward and to be uncomfortable? Because I think real life change happens in those uncomfortable moments, in those moments where you've got to be real with yourself, and you've got to allow God to show you where we as humans are messed up, So, any other challenges that y'all are facing today?
For me, or not maybe a challenge per se, kind of a challenge, just like how diverse the school is now. Like, in general, like, you have two groups, and like one group over here and one group over here, but they're like total opposites. Like, one person from this group can't go hang out with this group or like minister or talk to or whatever, because it just doesn't happen. They're totally opposites.
So are you talking about like beliefs, different beliefs?
Like everything, like the beliefs, just what you do. Like you got the jocks and like the smart kids.
So the cliques.
Yeah, cliques.
Okay.
But like, yeah, they're so far apart now. Like, it's so much diversity and division.
Right.
Like everywhere. It's just.
So let's keep going with that. What can we do as followers of Christ to address and close that gap between cliques?
Just like, I guess, knowing the word, because like with Jesus and everything, he went and ate with prostitutes and stuff, and like he talked to every kind of people, and he knew how to address them, and it didn't matter who they were, where they came from, what they believed. He wanted to tell them the truth and help get them to where they needed to be.
You got to be empathetic. You got to put yourself in their shoes and understand where they're coming from also, so you can relate to them more. Because the more you relate to somebody, the more you can have a connection, a relationship with them.
I remember when I was in college, we went through a sermon series, and it was based off of I think it was Luke 7:33 or 6:33. Anyway, it was in the Bible, and it was one of the verses, and it was like Jesus was a friend to tax collectors and sinners, but he still invited them to the table. And I think like in the school and like even in adult life, like you have to be willing to invest and invite people to your table and see like how Jesus can work through you and in you, but also how he can work in those other people too.
So it would be safe to say for us as followers of Christ, it's imperative if we're going to see our schools change and our communities change, that we as Christians are going to have to venture outside of our own cliques to minister to people, because you can't really minister to those that you all agree with. Like, you're going to have to venture out and face some difficult conversations and face some difficult situations to see that the gospel is presented to this group and to that group and to that group, and invite those people in, right? So I think this has been pretty good conversation, pretty good episode. Thank y'all for being here today, and I've had fun, and we've got a few more episodes and a few more sessions that we're gonna do. So y'all y'all hang with us, and we will we'll be right back with a new set of guests. So, love y'all. All right, so welcome back. As you can see, we've got some new students here. We've got Leighton Ball down here at the end. He's a senior, getting ready to graduate. He goes to Bryant. Then you've got Lacey. She's 11th grade at Bryant. Then you got Katie Beth, who is a senior in homeschool. So you related probably really well today with Andrew. I saw you over there dying laughing while he was talking about the homeschool.
No, it was funny because my mom is grading my algebra right now. She thought that, like, her algebra experience in high school was going to cut it, but it's not. It's not.
Well, so these are some members of our student worship team, and we love having them lead us in worship on Wednesdays and being a part of our Sunday morning production. But we've got a few questions for y'all. Send them out to y'all, and so y'all had some time to think about a couple of them. So the first one is, given the choice of anyone in the world, and I mean anyone, they can be dead, alive, anybody, cartoon, like Avenger, whoever. Given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest? Leighton.
Probably future me.
Oh my goodness.
Future him.
Yep.
So how far? Like what age, Leighton?
Oh, definitely when I'm old, like old. Not gonna die old, but like
Old man.
Like
60s.
accomplished old.
Accomplished old. Okay.
And not necessarily only that I can see what I've accomplished, but also what I didn't accomplish, and I can work towards that.
Okay. What about you, Lacey?
I was Reba McEntire. I was like, she's my long lost grandma. No, because I was watching her for Jetway. We have to pick more song suggestions for our tour and everything, and one of them they suggested was I forgot what it's called.
Why haven't I heard?
Why haven't I heard from you? And I was like, man, she's really good. And I would want to sit down and have a conversation with her. So I'm like, it's a redhead thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it is a redhead thing because my wife and daughter are like obsessed with Reba McEntire.
she is good.
What about you?
I was thinking Sadie Robertson. Just to, like, sit down and hear, like, I think she's so cool. I do. But she has a lot of wisdom for her age. And I think it would be cool to, like, hear her experiences, like, growing up. And then, like, with, obviously, like, the Duck Dynasty guys.
Right.
Like, that'd be pretty cool. But
Right.
then, like, her journey with God, and then just, like, as a person, I just think she's really cool.
Yeah. I think she is pretty cool. I think she's very smart. I mean, strong in her faith, too. You know, very, very strong in her faith, and comes from a family of faith. I've actually seen Willie's house. Well, correction. Tried to. We drove down there where it was, and their house is like way off, and you can't see it. But their gate is nice. Their gate out front is nice.
Yeah, that's a nice gate.
You know, I've thought about this since I wrote this question down, and there's so many different people that you could pick from. Because there's so many different avenues that you could go. Do you want to talk to somebody about education, or do you want to go the spiritual route, or, you know, the food route? I love food, so, you know, that's always an option. But I think for me, if I could have any person in the world join me for dinner, I would probably say that one mailman. Not even kidding. Y'all probably don't know who it is, but he's on TikTok. He is the funniest guy I have ever watched on TikTok. He's hood. He wears this grill. He's cut the sleeves off of his uniform. It's like he delivers mail. He's got this thing. He calls his people little stank. and it's a little stank, but it is hilarious. But just something funny, something a little different than the normal route. So, number 2, y'all've been here at Sharon in the student ministry since 6th grade, right? Y'all've been here. Y'all been here the whole time? How long have you been here?
I've been here like Reality Weekend 2022.
Oh, okay.
So 2 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you've only been here just several months longer than I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you come?
I was
23.
2023.
End of 22, right?
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. Yes, it was
Yeah.
Thanksgiving of 22 and 23. Yeah. So
yeah, so we've only been here since February. We joined May of that year.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So what is your most favorite memory in student ministry so far here at Sharon?
There are a lot, but it's probably when we went to Arizona and went to the Grand Canyon and we worshipped at sunset. Have you seen videos from it?
I have. That looked
That
awesome.
was
That
the
was, yeah.
best experience.
That
Like
looked awesome.
it's indescribable. But yeah, that's definitely.
That's on the bucket list to go.
Oh yeah,
Go see the Grand
For
Canyon.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine would be Reality Weekend the year she came. So, because we all got to bond. It was just me, Kayla Brown, Kaylee Johnson, and then Katie Beth. And Ellie Reese was our leader, and we all bonded really well. It was just us 4 girls. And the Reality Weekend that year, I think, was really good with the messages and the worship.
Do y'all remember who the speaker was that year?
Brent
Was it?
Crow.
Yeah.
I think so.
Was that the same year he was at AYC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think.
it was the same.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I think that year was like Dangerous or something at AYC, and then he was.
I think it was Focus.
Oh, you're right. It was Focus. Yep. So, what about you?
I would say my number 1 is probably Katie Beth. So if I had to pick a number 2, it would probably be. This goes way back. This is. I think it's the context is what makes it good. Is so whenever I was from kindergarten to 6th grade, I guess our dad taught 6-7 is what it was called. Then it got moved down to 5-6, and then but there was 6-7 and then there was 8-12. And Josh Robertson taught 8-12, and they would do things called merge nights, is where it'd be 8-12 students versus 6-7 students, because there's always way more 6-7 students. And there was one night, but my dad was in charge of 6-7, so he would be the coach for the 6-7 team, and Josh would be. So I would be on the 6-7 team, and I was like a 4th grader. And I remember we played dodgeball, and we had this huge trophy. It was massive, golden trophy. And once a month, we played the merge night, one Sunday night after church, and it'll go to like 12 o'clock at night.
And it was always filled with candy.
Yeah,
The trophy
filled with
was
candy.
filled to the top
And,
with
like,
candy.
this is back when y'all might not even know, but like Lane Ross or Lane Albee.
Yeah.
Ross. Yeah, back when they were in the youth group, and it was all them and a bunch of stacked athletes. And Jonah and
Garrett
Benji,
or Britt.
Hayden, Britt,
Yeah.
all them.
Cole.
And Cole. Cole. And so I end up somehow being in the dodgeball game with the big guys. And by big guys, I mean these are senior high students. And I'm
Going
literally
against
in
a
4th
fourth
grade.
grader.
Yeah, and I'm out there running around them ball. I get tagged out. So I'm running, or like I get tagged out on the right side of the court, and I'm running across behind everybody to go to the out of bounds where everybody's sitting out. I'm running, and all of a sudden, I get hit. I hit the ground. I go black, and I wake up in a different room, which is like the room behind the sanctuary. I wake up behind there, and I'm like laying on the floor looking at the ceiling, and then my dad's like, he's like grabbing, squeezing my arms and all that, and I'm like, what happened? They're like, Cole just knocked you out with a dodgeball. And I'm talking, whenever he threw the ball, he hit me so hard with the ball that my head hit the ground and my feet were still in the air like that. But I was running sideways, so I was going like boom, boom, boom. He went boom and hit me, and I hit the ground. And my dad ran out and scooped me up and then carried me and laid me down out there and was like shaking me, waking me up. And he's Cole just knocked you out. He's like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And so then we went back out there and played another round. But that was probably one of the craziest memories ever. And it was my favorite, too.
It's almost a homicide in a dodgeball game.
Yeah.
Those dodgeball games would
But-
get crazy.
But those merge nights were awesome. And
Yeah.
it was it was something else for sure.
Dude, we need to do a dodgeball tournament here.
Yeah.
For real. And, like, make it a community dodgeball game where you can, like,
Yeah.
build teams at your school and then they come here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We used to do that with the basketball tournament. We used to have an annual basketball tournament here.
Dude, that'd be
3v3.
awesome. That'd be awesome. So, now to a little bit more of a serious question. What are some of the biggest challenges that y'all are facing today? And it could be anything, whether at school, at home, with your friends, at church, whatever it is. But in y'all's day and age, what are some of the biggest challenges you face?
I would say mine for sure. Now that I think about it, it's a little bit more clear. Is that mine's probably the balancing act of work, school, and church. Probably, where I'm at school from literally 7:00 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon, and then from 3:30 to 8:00 I'm at work basically, and then from 8:30 to 10:00 I'm doing homework, school again, and then going to sleep, doing that all again. And so, like, reading my Bible, I'm doing that 52-week Bible reading plan. I'm however far through it, but I've been staying on course and I've been reading, so I got a lot of and I don't mean this about it. I've got a lot of it done and are accomplished, but balancing, being able to balance those three is difficult, but I'm managing. But also balancing it to where the important parts of each are getting what they need, like treating it like it's something that has to be fed, because it all is. You got to feed school, church, and a little bit of work, but giving it each piece as much as it needs is important, and it's difficult. And sometimes I have to take away from other things to add to something else, and it's just a big balancing act, and it's difficult for sure.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right.
You want to go?
For me, like, I don't know if this is something that, like, most high schoolers face, but it's transitioning from being, like, a little teenage girl to going into, like, now, like, the workforce and being surrounded by, like, so many, like, diverse groups of people. Like, I'm not just in groups with my little teenage girlfriends. Like, I have a lot of adult coworkers, and it's a weird transition. And now I'm having to mature not only, like, my like, personality, but also I'm having to grow so much in my faith so that I can reach out to these coworkers that are so, I don't want to say set in their ways, but they're so much more grounded in what they have going that it's a little bit harder to, what's the word? Not evangelize, but you know what I'm saying.
I think I get what you're saying, because even, like, I'm 33, and I struggle with even, like, those that are older than me taking the things I say seriously because
Right.
of my age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and,
Yeah.
and so, like, I totally get that. And, you know, Scripture tells us not to, you know, get bogged down when they think less of you because you're younger.
Right.
But to be an example to the believers, you know, in the way we act and in the way we talk and stuff like that. So that's some real, those are both really good answers. Really, really good answers. What about you?
So for my biggest challenge is, and that's like another challenge in itself, facing that, trying to figure out if I continue to do, even though, like, I think from college forward, it's only going to get worse with all of this new gay and transgender and all that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
trying to figure out
Yeah,
that.
the culture y'all live in is completely different than the culture I lived in. Like, it was there. That type of stuff was there, but it wasn't talked about as much. You know, like, you were made fun of, you were ridiculed,
Right.
and so, like, it just wasn't talked about. And
It's like there
now-
were bullies back then, but now there's not.
Yeah.
You know?
And so like now it's so open and like we're at Reality Weekend and they're talking about counterculture and how the things that Jesus taught were countering the culture that he lived in. And really, when we examine it, the culture we live in today is not much different than the culture of Jesus' time, and really since the beginning of time. You can look through the Old Testament and the New Testament, and the culture between generations. I mean, you can see the similarities as you go through the scriptures. So, yeah, it's very, very loud and very, very hard to live in. But I think that's where we as followers of Christ just have to be that example and let the light of Christ shine in everything that we do. So, well, that's it for segment 2, for session 2, whatever you want to call it. Thank y'all for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
I think the people that are listening, watching, are going to enjoy this. It's a little different than what we've been doing with the pastoral staff, and so, guys, y'all stick around, and we'll be back with our final session. So, love y'all. Welcome back to the final session of this episode of our podcast on Sharon Jesus. So real quick, we've got Lexi Kuhn. You are, and I'm still trying to learn the grades that the lower class is in, the lower classmen. You're in eighth grade. Now, see, Max, we've got Max here, and this one throws me for a loop every time. So you just moved up to student ministry, but you're in 7th grade?
Right.
Okay, so are you a year ahead?
Yes.
Okay, that's why it throws me for a loop every time. When we do forms and stuff, and I go to fill out for you, I'm like, is he in 6th grade? Is he in 7th grade? Is he in 6th grade? And I always just put down 7th grade. So in my book, you're always older than what you really are. Then we've got Marley. She is in 8th. 9th. Almost had it perfect. By the way, Lexi goes to Bryant. Max is homeschooled. Max is Katie Beth's brother. So they're both homeschooled. And then Marley goes to Benton.
That's classified. Just kidding.
So we got a few questions here that I'm going to ask y'all, and it's pretty easy. The first one's fun. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Me?
Yeah.
A giraffe, because they're tall and I'm not. Like, I'm so short. I'm so short. See when they like fight each other, like hit their heads with each other?
What?
Have you not seen those videos?
I don't want a concussion. Maybe not a giraffe.
It's
Smack
pretty
their
violent.
head.
It's pretty violent.
At least they're tall.
They are. But, there's also benefits to not being tall. You see things from a different perspective. Max, if you could be any animal, what would you pick?
I'm going to go with a lion.
Why?
They're just majestic beauties.
Not. I mean, I see what you're saying. That's not the answer I thought you were going to go with.
A horse more like that. And the way he described that.
Oh no, the lion is so majestic, like king of the jungle, top of the food chain when it comes to the areas that they live in. Just a majestic being. And if you've ever seen one like out in the wild, which I haven't, I've only seen videos, but just the way that they sit and hold themselves as they just kind of scan everything that they're looking at, it's a pretty majestic animal. So, what about you?
Probably a dolphin. Like, I mean, you can swim. They kind of like fly into the sky when they jump pretty fast.
Okay.
I just like the noise they make is kind of funny.
What noise do they make? I'm so happy you did that. That's so awesome. So if I could be any animal, Max kind of took mine, so I'm not gonna go that route. But if I could be any animal, I'd probably be an eagle. It is.
Bald eagle?
It's another majestic.
You're far from bald.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I do have a
Receding
thick head
hairline?
of hair. I do. I just wear hats all the time. But yeah, probably an eagle. It's another majestic creature, but it's also one of those creatures that's at the top of the food chain in its realm. So, plus you can fly wherever you want to, and just keep on flying. So, for our second question, if you could live anywhere, where would it be? Max. Anywhere in the world.
Probably Paris.
Paris. Okay. Why would you go to Paris?
It's just so beautiful, and I feel
You
like
talking about
it's-
Paris, Arkansas, or
Oh no.
No. No.
Paris? Okay.
France.
Okay. What about you?
The beach, obviously.
Which one?
We got the Florida Keys.
So just
We
as long
got
as it has a beach, you're
Orange
good.
Beach, Alabama. The Sketchy Foot. Just kidding. That's a good beach, guys. That's my growth. I always went to the beach there. Then you could go down a loop and go to the Texas beach. Not a good beach, but anywhere at the beach.
You're
is
talking about
fun.
Galveston?
Galveston.
Yeah, that's not a beach.
Anywhere at the beach.
Why you want to go to the
Because I
beach?
want to be a dolphin.
I like how you did that. That was
Yeah.
good.
And it's just a good, little area. I don't know.
Okay. What about you?
I like Arkansas. I think Arkansas is good. Because it's
Arkansas.
you can, during the summers, you can go swimming, you're at the beach. But you don't have to deal with salt water and sand because you're at the lake. You don't have to deal with sharks and stuff. And then, you can still go hiking. You still get snow.
Yeah, but
it has everything.
Have you seen the size of some of the catfish in Lake Catherine?
Yeah, I want to, do one of those things where, you go in a boat and, you stick your arm in the water, you, let it bite you, and then you pull it out.
Noodling?
Yes.
Absolutely. What if you stick your arm in a log and then a snapping turtle bites your fingers off?
Well.
Yeah,
I've
didn't
seen-
think about that, did
Oh,
you?
well, I still want to do it. I feel like it'd be a fun experience.
I see people where they go under a rock and put their whole head in.
No, it just looks so cool. You just go out on a boat, you just stick your arm in the water, and a huge old catfish bites your arm. You're like, look what I got.
I couldn't do it. No, but there's actually catfish at Lake Catherine. I know this because my cousin, when I was a kid, she got her scuba diving certificate and got certified and all that. In the final dive, they dive to the bottom of Carpenter Dam, I think is what it's called. But they dive along the dam and stay on the wall, and she took an underwater camera, and she's got pictures of catfish that are big enough to eat a manhole.
Don't catfish keep growing until they die?
I assume so. I'm not a catfish enthusiast, but
But it's also those catfish.
unless I'm eating
They
it,
don't really come up. Knock on wood. I don't want them to.
no, they stay and eat
Right.
just the garbage on the bottom of the lake.
And people that go down there.
But that's is that not scary to y'all?
Okay, Marley.
And people that go down there, is that what you said? That got dark. Leave it to Marley to turn
One
it,
way to answer that.
dark. All right. Well, if I was going to live anywhere, I'd say the mountains in Colorado. Secluded. Give me a cabin and some snow.
Oh, this is just.
Oh, absolutely.
It's too cold.
See, but I don't like the heat. I'm good with spring, but we don't have spring here in Arkansas. You go from cold to
We have spring, kind of.
for 2 days.
Well, we have fall.
Maybe a week.
I just don't like the winter. Only if we go to Colorado to snowboard, that would be the only thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no.
Yeah, I want to go to Colorado, and that's where I'd live. So fast. I love how we all, except for Max, chose to stay in the United States.
It's only
Within
the safe
1,000
country.
He's
and
10,000
France.
mile radius.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going across the world. The rest of y'all I'm leaving behind.
Bye-bye.
So, and then our third question, a little bit more serious. Marley, who is your hero?
My hero?
I don't know. Let me think about that. You can skip me right now.
Okay.
Mm, probably my sister. Like, I don't know. She's just like, I look up to her with like everything, and like she's good at everything she does. She's like really pretty. I don't know.
She's a good sister, ain't she? Yep.
Everyone's like, you like your sister? I'm like, I love my sister. They're like, I always fight with my sister. I'm like, I don't. Like, we have our disagreements, but it's never like huge.
Yeah. She's a good kid. But don't tell her I said that. Okay. Max, who's your hero?
I'm gonna say my mom.
Your mom? Why is it your mom?
She just does so much for me.
Yeah. She's a good mom. Yeah. Yep, we love Miss Becky. She's awesome. Wish I had like 10 of her around here. She's just awesome. So, all right, back to you.
I'm gonna say my parents. I was gonna say something funny, but then I had to listen to everyone else saying. So, yeah. So
Well, it's
that's
okay,
why I
Marley.
was-
You're you, so you can just like.
Marley,
You got it.
Marley,
Wonder
Since we're on a
Woman.
serious note.
just so everybody knows, Marley is like the comic relief in the student ministry. Like when things are down or getting heavy, you can count on Marley to brighten the room back up. But your parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she had no doubt about that dolphin sound.
She was quick on
She
it.
was
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah. My hero. Y'all can laugh at me or whatever, and I'll probably get in trouble later, and that's fine. But my hero's my wife.
Aw.
And I'm not just saying that because she's sitting in the room off camera. I'd have said it regardless, but she's got a heart of gold. She's always putting others before herself. She's the better parent of the two of us. Great caretaker.
Just like, at least you know it.
Yeah. There's in my book, not a better human being on the earth. So, yeah. So, I want to go back to you. Who's your funny hero? You said
Funny.
you said you were gonna do something funny. So who's
I was just gonna like say some random person. Like I was just gonna say Michael Jackson.
And why?
I don't even really know.
Elaborate
him
on that
or
for
listen to
us.
his music, but I just think like I saw this video that he's still alive. And I was just thinking that's kind of cool that he faked his death. But that's
so
kinda
are you
why.
saying you're a conspiracy?
Yeah.
You believe in the conspiracy
Mm.
that Michael Jackson's
Like
still
he
alive?
could be just in that closet right there watching.
I mean, I guess it could be, but
Hold
He
up.
could be.
No, we're all paranoid.
He's listening to his like
Michael
thriller
Jackson
music.
in the closet.
Like I'm not even like a fan of him, but I just saw that video. I was like, that'd be kind of cool if he did fake his death. That's kind of like a heroic move.
You're scaring DJ.
I'm sitting here trying to process a thought, and she's still over here talking about the conspiracy of Michael Jackson.
Thriller.
So now that y'all, well, two of y'all have been in the student ministry. Max, you recently this past year just come up into our student ministry, which is 6th through 12th. What's the change? What's the difference in that you've noticed between K through 5 and 6 through 12? Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
I feel like in like the kids wing, they tell you they really dumb it down for you is really a good way to say it.
Yeah.
And then when you get in there, then you get more out of it.
Right. So I understand that. Like in K through 5, we as adults or leaders or whatever, like you definitely have to break the story down
Yeah.
kind of in simpler terms so that everybody in the room can grasp the idea. Where it's in 6th to 12th, like I tell you the story, the details of the story. like David and Goliath, when I was explaining that to y'all, there were some of y'all that were looking at me like, that's really in there?
What they don't tell you is that they cut his head off.
Yeah, like that piece of information, you probably don't get that in K through 5.
Right.
You know, like you would in 6 to 12. But I don't want a kindergartner like going home and having nightmares about David chopping Goliath's head off with his own sword, you know. So yeah, I get that. So you think that 6 through 12 is more in depth and deeper than what K through 5 would be.
Exactly.
Got you. Well, I think that's what we're here for, is to go deeper into the story and to press deeper into the story of God. And what moving forward, because y'all two are kind of junior high in the middle between 6th grade and senior, you know, what are y'all looking forward to over the next few years in student ministry?
I'm excited for leading worship still.
Yeah.
I started not too long ago.
Yep.
It's been really fun recently, and hopefully it will continue to be.
Gotcha. Yeah, for those of you that might not know, Lexi has joined our student worship team. She sings awesome. I'll never forget the first time I walked in and she was singing, and I was like, that voice is coming out of her? Like, where did that come from? Where have you been? So we definitely enjoy having you on the team, and very thankful for your talent and your desire to use your talent for the Lord. That's pretty awesome. So what about you?
I guess mine just like getting older and like making like a stronger bond with the people around me.
Yeah.
And like that's
So building relationships and whatnot. Cool. Gotcha. All right. Sorry. We're trying to stay on time so we don't have like a 72-hour episode here. And so I've got some instructions on it's time to wrap this one up. So
I didn't know if that was an N or a W on that.
yeah, that's why I was leaning around trying to figure out. But,
Not rap.
Or if that's an O or an A.
for those of you that don't know, Parker's behind the scenes and doing an awesome job producing and directing our podcast and
It's okay.
but clearly he needs
Stick to music.
I'll let her do the jab. There we go. But guys, thank y'all for being here. We appreciate y'all coming to hang out with us for a little bit and talking with us. So guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. We look forward to seeing y'all the next one and where the discussion may take us. So see y'all next time.